Welcome to the E Show, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Founded in 2013, the EHL is your next step on the path to college. Over the past decade, the EHL has established itself as the college placement leader on the East Coast. And now, here's your host, the commissioner of the Eastern Hockey League, Neil Ravin.
Thanks, Jim. Well, with that, let's bring in this week's E-Crew and a special guest. First, Jeff and Jake. Guys, we have a huge guest this week. 200th episode, reigning EHL Goalie of the Year. Welcome to the podcast, Jack Boschert.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Jack.
I love how he's got the EHL All-Star jersey right behind him, too. It's just perfect. It's fitting. And we have you on after a huge moment for you this past weekend. For those that don't know, Jack obviously played for the Express Hockey Club for 2 seasons, helped them reach the Frozen Finals in one of those years. We won't talk too much about the 3 overtime loss, but obviously very close as well. But then took off for Wisconsin Superior, where he's now one of the goalies there. And this past weekend, Wisconsin Superior knocked off the number 2 team in the nation. When you got the chance to, when you got told that you were in net for that game, what were your thoughts?
I was kind of surprised. You know, it's one of those things where one of my goalie partners the night before played, like unreal. So I thought he had a really good chance to get the nod again, but then I got it, and I was at that point. You gotta just kind of treat it like another game. So I was glad I got to play. It was fun. I mean, if you go back and rewatch that game, all the guys were blocking shots and getting sticks in the passing lane. So that made it a lot easier on me. But it was a really good game. It was fun. It was exciting. It was the first time we won the tournament in 6 years. So yeah, that was fun.
Is there any pressure, I guess, in that regard that, this is Superior's tournament? You're hosting it. You never won it. Is there pressure to win it? Were your teammates talking about how you had to win it going into the tournament?
Yeah. There's always that. Like, we have a 5th year here that's lost 5 or 4, I guess, and just won his first one. So, it's trying to do it for the guys that have been here for a couple of years and unfortunately hadn't won it yet. So it was nice that we all came together and were able to do it this year. So.
And it's the team that you face is Saint Scholastica, who was 10-0.
Yeah.
And you had actually lost them earlier this season. I don't think you were in net for the loss earlier this year, though, right?
No, yeah, correct. I was not.
All right. So you get the call in this one, you get the victory, but just pretty special. Obviously fits right before having you on this podcast. Going back now, though, to your time, in the EHL, when you look back, obviously you had played in a different junior league prior to. When you first get to the EHL, did you ever expect it would have been what it was for you for those 2 seasons?
No, I really had no clue what to think about it. I knew one guy from my high school. I think he was maybe in '98. He played in the EHL couple years before I got there, so I didn't really know what to think about it. But I was excited for it, and then it was great. There was a lot of exposure in the EHL, all the showcases. That was awesome. It was a lot of fun to be there for sure.
And Jack, actually, now that you're in college, what would you say is one of your biggest takeaways that, like, the EHL, what did they do to help you get to, Wisconsin Superior in specific, but also just kind of prepare you for the college game?
I think a lot of it was just honing my skills. I think when the coaches I had there, they did a great job. They ran practices kind of like a college practice. Like, there was a set schedule every day. We knew what was coming. Shout out to Josh, shout out to Nick. I love those. They were awesome. Thankful for everything they've done too. So I think mainly just practices, and then they treated it like it was kind of college. They knew what our goal was, and they wanted to get us to that goal. They wanted to get us to college. And thankfully, I ended up here in Superior, and I couldn't be happier about it.
All right, 2 questions for you, Jack. The EHL jersey behind you, did that just go up when you found out you were doing the podcast, or has it been up all year?
No. So I went home actually for Christmas. I had about a 4-day break before I came up, and I didn't know I was getting it. I opened it up. It was for my mom and dad, and it was just there in the box. And of course I had to bring it up, and a bunch of the other guys have jerseys hanging up in their houses, and if it wasn't for that and some pictures and paintings that I did not make, my room would be completely barren. But I figured it'd be pretty nice to wake up and look at every day. So
All right. All right, Kevin Boschert always knows. So second
Yes, he
question is going to
does.
be: is there anything unique about your juniors' experience that you miss right now in college hockey, or like the big differences in general? But is there anything that you miss about the junior hockey life?
yeah, not having school. That's a lot of fun. No, I mean everything. Like you make when you're in juniors, you make bonds like 24/7. That's probably the biggest thing. You're with the guys. Oh, like we would go out and eat after practice for 2, 3 hours almost every day. So you get the chance to make those bonds and then hang outside of the rink. And not that you can't do it here, it's just a little harder because you have school. But it's a lot of fun, especially just being where I was in Walpole. It was a blast.
And I believe, you touched on both Josh and Nick, who were your coaches, one season apiece. But wasn't it Cody Campbell who helped recruit you to go to Walpole? Is
Oh.
that correct?
Yeah, it was Cody. I remember, I got a text or call from Cody, whatever it was, and I was like, I don't know who this guy is or who Walpole is. So let me do a little research, and then I'm not even joking. I looked up Walpole Express, and after that I'm like, oh well, I'm gonna go there next year. That's my spot. So yeah,
For
I'm
those of
glad
you
he
that
gave
don't
me a
know,
chance.
Jack is from Florissant, Missouri,
Yeah.
far ways away from one Rodman Arena and the Walpole Express.
That's
But
only 18 hours.
yeah,
Oof,
and I bring it
18
up
hours.
because whenever I post, a picture of you or an update of yours, Cody always likes it. He's one of the likes we get each time. But you never actually played a game for Cody Campbell, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I was there, and he was there for like maybe a week or so of training camp, and then he got the call to mine on it. So
Yep.
And
Why
and
not
you could
Minotauros? We lost best friend Cody, Neil's
yeah.
best friend, Neil's golfing partner. We love Cody Campbell. We miss him. And that is funny though, too, because obviously Cody being a goalie, seeks after good goaltenders like yourself. So how many conversations did you end up even having with Cody Campbell?
oh, maybe I think one or two over the summer, and then I think one when I first got up there because we just had player meetings. I think that, and then I ended up calling him whenever I was talking to Superior. He gave me a little bit of a scoop, and then he actually ended up texting me after my first win this year, my first collegiate win. So that was cool.
Cody Campbell is always watching.
What? Yeah, right. So what? And that's interesting too, Jack. Just to follow up with that is, so I mean, I've seen some players too when coaches leave, they also leave. What made you stick around after Cody left?
I all the guys like everybody talked, and at that point I kind of caught on like what the EHL was. I knew it was if I wanted to go play college, it was definitely for me like it was just the best place to be. Um, and I think I'm pretty loyal. Like growing up, my mom and dad always said you can't quit through stuff. If something happens, blah blah blah, this and that, you can't quit. And Cody gave me the opportunity, but it wasn't just Cody; it was also the Express at the same time. So they both gave me the opportunity to come and play juniors, especially after the year before. It was kind of a weird year, tough year a little bit. So I was just thankful to be there, and I was just happy to be there.
Love that. Your dad's one of the
Bosh,
best.
absolutely. Oh, I
Kevin
retweet that.
Boschert.
But
Oh,
Bosh, last year we had that sit down interview at Rodman, and you kind of talked about your visit to Wisconsin way back then and how it was just kind of the place for you immediately. Just what things have lived up to your expectations about, the kind of the sampling you got at the visit and now being a full-time player and athlete there or a student there.
I think everything. When I came out on my visit, I got to meet all the guys. It felt just like a family. Like I felt at home. They all accepted me real fast. And then I actually ended up coming up early in the summer because I live in a house. My lease started in June. So I came up about mid-July, and some of the guys were already up here. And I still wasn't really familiar with everybody. I kind of knew the guys that I had stayed with on the visit. But when I got up here, the guys that were already up here, they took me right in, made me feel at home. So that was nice. And then towards later August, when everybody started coming in, same thing, felt like a family. School's great. I love the school. Me personally, I wanted a small school, and that's exactly what I got here. I think Superior's small enough where you can walk everywhere within like 15, 20 minutes, or it's a 3 to 5 minute drive. So that's exactly what I was looking for. And it lived up to the expectation. We finally actually got some snow that stuck too, which is good. I was waiting for that.
Obviously none of us have ever been, but you look at some pictures that I've seen, right on the back wall, "We are superior." That
Yeah.
catches your attention, right?
Yeah, it does. It definitely does.
And then obviously, you were the first player, as for the EHL to directly commit to Superior. We had previously had an alumni commit after he had gone to the NA. And then you have one of your teammates commit, shortly thereafter. Was that almost like a huge breath of relief to know that you were going to at least know one guy right away when you got there?
Yeah, that was just like heaven on earth. Like, I love Brady, so it was awesome. I remember Rich texted me and was like, "All right, that's our coach. I apologize." And
Yeah.
he just said, "Hey, like, I really like Brady. Like, what do you know about him?" I'm like, "Well, I know a lot of stuff about him. He's my captain last year. He's like, I love him to death. He's a great guy, blah, blah, blah." So I was super excited when he committed to come play out here. So it's been fun having him. It's sad we don't live in the same house. I wish we did, but I could push his buttons a little bit if we did, but that's besides the point.
Obviously, the first two players, as I just mentioned, to directly commit to the school, you've already got 6 starts in. Was that like, when you got there and you started talking to the coaching staff, did they map this out for you? Did you envision starting as much as you have right away, or is this kind of just the way it's played out?
Um, I guess it's kind of just the way it's played out. Coming in, you can always hope for stuff. You never know though.
Mhm.
And I didn't play my first game till the fifth game of the year. So I did that, and we got our first win of the year, which was really nice. But coming in, obviously you want to play. So I was hoping to play, get a couple starts, whether it would be this year more of just a development year and just get a couple starts. It was kind of what would help the team more rather than being selfish and just wanting to play every single game, even if I was struggling. So that was nice. I think it was good that I didn't play one of those first 4 games. It definitely was a little bit of an adjustment for me, but I think it went pretty well. So.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, Jack, what is it like? I mean, it looks like you guys have a young goalie room too. You got Kobe Grant's also a freshman with you, and Jan Skorpik he came over from LIU, so he's just a sophomore. So you guys are all underclassmen. So what is it like? Like when it came to you sitting on the bench and kind of watching those few starts, and then just give us a little insight on what your goalie room's like with how young you guys are.
Yeah, it's definitely a little different. It's weird because there's nobody, I guess, to go talk to. Like, I feel like when you go to schools, most schools will have an older guy and you can be like, "Hey, like, what's XYZ, blah, blah, blah." So we're kind of at this point just bouncing ideas off of each other. Like, we don't know what's going on. Actually, Jan lives in the same house with me. He's right. We got a conjoined room with doors that close, so he's right over there. But
Jan, how we doing?
No, like it was awesome. Kobe came up a little early this year. Jan came in. We kind of clicked right away. There was like, we get along very well. There's no arguing or bickering, or Kobe and I were kind of messing around saying we were gonna give him a little crap when he got here because he's Czech. He's not American or Canadian.
Right.
But no, we love him. We all love each other. I think that's part of why we've had started to have more success, and like as a team we've all grown closer. And then with us 3 goalies at the rink, we kind of have we call it goalie island. We're a little separated from the rest of the team in the locker room.
Love that.
So it's nice. We get to do our own thing and not get made fun of or anything like that. So
I think that's a good transition because Myself, Jeff, Jake, we weren't goalies. We had no interest in being goalies anytime soon either. But we obviously know that goalies kind of have their own mentality, right? And now we know that you live with another one, right? And you go back to your goalie partner and Josh Gerard. Like, how do goalies gel together when there's only one net and you both want to be in? Like, how do you even like handle that?
Yeah. It is weird sometimes. Sometimes it's tough. It's a lot of it is just realizing that you're trying to push each other, make each other better. And I like that's one thing that has helped us a lot this year. Like all three of us have grown stride since the beginning of the year, just because we're all pushing each other. Like we all want to play, we all want that net, but at the same time, if I'm not in tonight, I'm gonna cheer Jan or Kobe on, or we're gonna cheer whoever's playing. So that's the big key there. And then I think doing stuff outside of the rink too. Just like we had a little app night with my roommates and Kobe came over. So that was fun. If you ever need some buffalo chicken dip, let me know. I'm great at it.
Oh,
Buffalo chicken dip.
Wow.
Jake's a really good cook too. You guys can have a little cook off.
Yeah. Buffalo chicken dip's about it for me. That's all I can make.
Well, and I bring it up because, it's past Newington showcase for the Express. We actually named all three of their goalies, kind of a showcase star because each one got a start and each one got a shutout. And obviously you're closest with Gerard. He was obviously your goalie partner, but like when you're watching back and seeing that, first off, does it make you proud to see, obviously? And then second, like if you were in their position, how hard is it to have, three 1A goalies, if you will, all on the same team?
Yeah, I mean, like watching the game, I actually watched all three of them at least a little bit. But
love it.
Like that's just cool. Like you have three, like it's hard to find three goalies that can play like that. Like I think we're lucky enough that our the coaches have done it here, and then obviously Nick did it too. But it looking at it, it's really cool. In the locker room, I mean, I'm not there. I don't know how they're handling. I think a lot of it is just understanding how they tick. Gerard is a lot different from Jan Skorpik or Scott Bird or anybody I've played with. He's his own breed for sure. No, I think
Aren't you all, Jack? Aren't all you goalies your own breed? Seems like. I mean that in the kindest of ways.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. He's, the guys try and put a word count on me. It doesn't work. I run my mouth a lot. But Gerard,
we love that. As fellow journalists, we love that. So
Gerard is different. He's something else. He's a beast. He's an animal.
Bosch, are the pregame routines still the same? I know you said it starts the night before back last year with the sweet tooth stuff. So has anything changed with that?
Oh yeah. Since it's no billet family, no family, just me buying groceries. I try to stay away from the sweets. I still have them, don't worry. I just don't eat them as often.
Does Melissa know this?
No, I don't think she does. I think she would send me a cookie dough if she did.
I was gonna say you're gonna get like 2 gallons. You're gonna get like 7 gallons sent out to you ASAP.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I make a lot of chicken and rice. A lot with mixing some veggies. That's kind of my go-to. It's easy to make. Yep. So that's probably my pregame meal. Day of, we normally will just get together as a team, do some video, do like just a quick stretch or warm up or something earlier in the day to get our blood flowing. Then from there, you go home, eat a little lunch, kind of relax until I get to the rink. And then I don't play games anymore on my phone. I don't do the water sort game or anything. It's just music, tape, and stretch because oh God, you feel like you age so much when you get to college and you start playing like the college hockey. Your body just feels like it ages way more.
Our boys growing up.
Wait till you get to me and Neil's 30s, young 30s, and your knees start creaking, and your wives start saying that you're old and all this good stuff. Your day will come, Jack. Hey, speaking of music, by the way, what does your 2023 Spotify Unwrapped look like?
Oh boy, let's find out.
Now it's a new year. What do we got?
I don't think you'll know who's number one. I'm pretty sure number one is Sleepy Hollow. Yeah.
No,
Jake, you got us?
caught us
Yep.
off guard with that one. Gosh.
I have no idea who that is.
Damn it.
Is that a
Try
band?
again.
Yeah. Let me see.
Anybody
Was
else?
that a movie with Brad Pitt or not Brad Pitt, Johnny Depp back in the day? Let me get my Texas Instruments
but while you do
calculator up.
search for that, Jack, you mentioned the difference in how you feel after a game. A junior schedule is so different, right? I mean, the teams are responsible for making the schedule, so you could wake up this week and have a game, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. But in college, it's pretty structured. You play typically Friday, Saturday. So do you think that changed the way that you approach your pregame routine and whatnot, knowing that we have Friday, Saturday, off Sunday, and then get prepared for the following weekend each time?
Yeah, actually, I think it did. I'm a big structure guy. I kind of like having that structure. Juniors was nice with no school and it was fun, but at the same time, I was kind of missing that, going to class and having that, okay, practice is here, classes are here. That's how we'll go at it. I did kind of miss that. So college definitely has added that structure, and it's made it nice, to be honest. I enjoy it a lot, but that's definitely had a big impact on how I go about things for sure.
Bosch, was there a moment either on or off the ice where it was kind of this realization for you, like, okay, this is the next level, maybe like mentally, maybe physically, whatever it is?
Yeah, the first time we had practice. Oh yeah. Yeah. I can tell you that much. Like, guys are a little bigger, a little faster. The releases might be a little quicker, just a little different. The first time for sure, but you get used to it. You adjust to it. Like over time, I've adjusted to it, and I think that's partially why I didn't play for the first 4 games. It was an adjustment period for me. It took a little longer than I would have liked, obviously, but in the end, it's worked out. So.
And do you feel like that helped you, Jack? It seems like not getting you off to your 5-1 start, like Neil said, sitting for those 4 games. Are you kind of one of those goalies that kind of, you see in the pros, right? Sometimes they say, hey, a guy's got to go sit on the 9th floor. For you, it's obviously just sitting across the way, backing up. But do you feel like you did learn a lot in those first 4 games, and that's helped you have the success you've had so far just by sitting and watching?
Yeah, for sure. Like when you get to sit there and watch it, as much as you want to play it, at the same time, you do get to learn. You get to watch kind of the hockey and how it is different from here in the EHL. Like it's very structured out here. We try and run the same structure. So I think just being able to watch and kind of take parts that I like out of my goalie partner's game that I think I could do well and that would help me. I could do that. I could take a little bit here, a little there, and kind of bring them in. And then I think that helped for sure for me.
And we're not going to get too much into X's and O's on the podcast here, but we've mentioned the record, we mentioned kind of your stats so far, but what stands out to me, and maybe this is a message that current players in the EHL can listen closely to, is you've given up 10 goals so far, 7 of which have been on the power play. Is there something that you notice differently about power play at the next level? Like when you look back at what the power plays in the EHL, is it just that much more or better puck movement? What is it exactly?
So yeah, the puck movement it is better. Guys are hitting those little like 6-inch windows more consistently. I will say it also helps for guys on other teams when they're 6'3" and 200 something pounds. I think there's a lot of bigger guys out here. But no, like the pucks, the way the puck moves, they zip it around way faster. It's cleaner, it's smoother, it's more crisp. Like you make an adjustment. I've made an adjustment to it to fill in that gap and make up for it. But yeah, there's some big boys out there that are really good at screening. They don't. The screens are another big part. So
does the stat that I just mentioned frustrate you as a goalie?
Yeah, I mean, 7 out of the 10. It is what it is. You're gonna get scored on.
Yeah.
I wish I could take the numbers down a little bit, but it's a great number to have in the first place. So I won't complain about it.
Yeah. And then looking ahead, we mentioned this earlier, the Friday, Saturday schedule throughout the season. After this upcoming weekend, 2 weekends, I should say, not this weekend, you play next weekend, you have double headers each weekend against conference opponents. Obviously, we know that you have a goalie partner as part of your tandem there. It's a sophomore, not a senior or whatever. But for the rest of the team, some of the seniors, has there been any talk about what that stretch run will be like when you're facing conference opponents back to back, or you just focus in the exact moment right now?
No, we're just kind of where our feet are right now. That's a little bit of ways away, especially for us goalies, because things change daily. Like you might have a good practice, you might have a bad practice. So a lot of it does go based on how you're doing in practice that week. So it's definitely a day-to-day type thing. We don't want to look too far ahead. And right now we're looking more at ourselves than anybody else, because we found that worrying about ourselves works best for us. So
for sure. And as we get to the end of having you here on the podcast, first off, again, thank you for coming on. This is a special 200th episode for us, but the EHL, our season returns to action January 4th, and it's the stretch run, which we mentioned earlier. You had 2 years of experience going through that stretch run. As we get later in the season, what advice can you give to the current EHL players on how to manage your bodies and kind of maintain that level of consistency through the end of March? Because as we mentioned, you've made it to the Frozen Finals once, and you were a bounce away the second time. So you've really gone deep into March in the 2 years that you've been here.
Yeah, I think for most people, at least this worked best for me. I think just be thankful to be there. Not a lot of people get to play hockey like you're playing, especially to have the opportunity to possibly go play some college hockey. Like the opportunity is really, like, it's unbelievably high in the EHL. So just be thankful to be there. Be thankful. Like you got what, at least probably 24 buddies on your team that you get to spend all day with. Like you don't have to go to school. Enjoy it. It's fun. Soak it in. And then for your body, just typical food, rest, sleep, eat, drink water. Like,
Get those pucks in deep, boys.
Plenty of buffalo dip part of the equation.
Yeah, I did not expect that to be coming here.
Yeah, right.
But then we'll wrap it up with this. I mentioned all that because when it gets to be postseason time, whether it's the crew that I have on the podcast with me or other guys calling games, of course, Tyler calling our finals, I feel like we're going to get a chance to mention your name still, even though you're not playing in the league right now. You look back on the 940 save percentage in the regular season with the 34 wins there. And then on top of that, the even 1.00 goals against, the 969 in the postseason. You were 9-3-1 in your EHL playoff career. When you look back on all those numbers, what makes you most proud? And obviously we mentioned the bounce or whatnot, but what makes you most proud to know that we are going to get to talk about Jack Boschert in EHL history for the longest time?
I honestly would say probably just being able to play for the Express like that. That's what made me happy. Going to the finals the first year I was there, that was a lot of fun. That was a special group. And, I think especially like Josh, he wasn't planning on being the head coach, and then he took over and he did a great job, and then took us to the finals, and that was a great year. And then we got another coach. No, but I'm happy for Josh. Like, I'm happy he got to move up, and I love Nick. He's awesome. So I think both years it was just playing for the Express. Like it was a fun time, and I don't think I could have asked for a better place to land my last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it goes without saying what you did the past 2 Marches was pretty special. And we thought that there could have been 2 Frozen Finals appearances in there, probably worthy of a championship, to be totally honest, right? But the biggest thing that, myself and I can attest for these guys, we love logging into the box scores each weekend and seeing your name pop up. So being able to see our freshmen play right away at the next level is huge. So
we text about you in our eShow group. No lies, Jack. I can show you proof.
Minimum 3 times a week. Like it might not be a good thing.
And not just Tyler Arago, not just your old play-by-play man, all of us.
I still get texts from my dad about all of you guys. Don't worry.
Well,
Oh
hey,
my
dude,
gosh.
let's
I
end this
love
with
when your dad goes
Yeah.
on rapid fire. I'll get Kevin Boschert like your story, like your story, like your story, like your I love
I
it.
get texts from him
and then
during
he texts
broadcast. It's the
paragraphs.
best.
They're like paragraphs. He texts a paragraph. It's crazy.
we
I
will
love
wrap
it.
we will wrap this up with one more question then, because you did mention this earlier. I think it was 17 hours from Missouri to Walpole. You're like 9.5 hours from home now. Like,
Yeah.
in a way, almost half the distance. Is he grateful for that?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. Like I think over the 2 years he drove out 18 times, and then
Oh my God.
maybe flew out 3 or 4 with my mom because she didn't want to drive the 18, which is understandable.
Yes.
Oof.
But no, those are rookie numbers compared to what he's gonna put up here. So he came out for 4 weekends straight, actually. They actually just came up for the showdown, and then my mom and dad,
Awesome.
and then they ended up going home. So
Good
he'll
fan.
I think he'll beat the 18 trips.
Pretty quickly. Pretty quickly. Well, we appreciate you coming on. We'll
Thank
be
you for having
tuned
me.
in, throughout the home stretch here for Wisconsin Superior. Obviously, big Yellow Jackets fans here on the podcast now throughout the rest of the year between you and Brady. And obviously, the hope is that the paths that you've paved now to Wisconsin Superior lead to more players ending up in the WIAC. So appreciate you coming on the podcast and keep it going.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
See you, Jack. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you guys.
Thanks again to Jack Boschert for coming on this 200th episode of the podcast. I think it goes without saying, Jeff, it's just the freshmen that we have in college right now get a chance to play right away, and proof is what he's doing, right? This is not just get the chance to play right away. This is like perform and contribute right away too. He's 5-1. Like, I'm sorry, he's given up only 10 goals. 7 on the power play. Like, he's still Jack Boschert, man. Like,
sub 2 goals against, save percentage. I think 930s, 940s. But yeah, no, and he still got that same energy, still got that same smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. It's so great, and it's just so great to listen to him credit, a great organization like the Express Hockey Club. That one of our 23 organizations in the EHL that have helped do exactly. He's an EHL commercial, as we always say, a guy that really appreciated his time, a guy that's from really far away, as we talked about. He's from Florissant, Missouri. Never been to Florissant, Missouri, but he said he literally had to look up where Walpole, Massachusetts was. For us, that was my rival growing up, so I know exactly where Walpole is. You know where it is. Grew up in Maine, but yeah, it is. It's so crazy, Neil, that when you just go back, and I know we've done 200 episodes now, and it's just talking to all sorts of guys like Boschert and some of the European guys we've had on before. It really is just really cool how the EHL and junior hockey can be just such a melting pot, but also just kind of help these guys take away life lessons and then move on to college and have such an impact like Jack is with the Wisconsin Superior Yellow Jackets now. We're proud of them.
For sure. We'll jump now to the eShow Fantasy Challenge.
Now it's time for the eShow Fantasy Challenge. Follow along on the EHL app. Available now for free on both Apple iOS and Android.
Our Yahoo Fantasy League. I got
here.
so fired up last week about how early I had fallen behind. I came back to win, so that felt good to get back in the winners column.
Another golf clap for you. Brought to you by Atkinson Country Club. There we go.
I know it's been a little more frustrating for you, though.
Yeah,
because you faced Jim McCabe last week, who just pops off most points in the league.
Most points of his season.
Of the season in the league. Like, do you need to get on a soapbox, or are you good?
No, I mean, Jim was 1-9. Now I'm 3-9. He's 2-10. Philip Parker from the Providence Hockey Club right below me at 3-9. The Health Bombs.
Yes, I'm facing him this week.
Are you? Phil's got a good team. He's got another team that I think has had some bad luck. But yeah, I mean, I got to get up to 8th, right? I got to get into a playoff spot. So my car is a pink caddy. I'm coming for you. I forget even who the heck that is. Melissa. All right, Melissa. Yeah. And then I believe, actually, that's a cool little wraparound for those that don't know. I believe Melissa is the one that her nephew is JJ Alger of the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Look at that. The world
So-
goes round, like we're saying, connections. And Jamie Calorie, I'm coming for you this week, even though you're projected to beat me by 25 points. So thanks, Jamie. That's great. All right. 3-10. Here we come. Good Lord.
Frustrating. But again, Jeff, if you don't get to 8th, you can
Then,
just jump
where do
over
I
to
go?
DraftKings.
There we go.
Right? You
Now
just
we're
jump over to
talking.
DraftKings, and it's like it's a brand new season every time.
Right. Season long. Nah, don't do that. Go over to DraftKings Sportsbook, friends. Download the app now and use the code THPN because new customers can get $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on hockey. That's code THPN only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. The crown is yours. Bonus bets do expire 168 hours after issuance. And do you have a gambling problem? If so, you can call 1-800-GAMBLER, or you can visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, you can call 877-8-HOPENY, or you can text HOPENY, which is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. You can call 888-789-7777, or you can visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. You can void in Ontario. Bonus bets do expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/hockey for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. NHL and Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. Copyright NHL 2023. All rights are reserved.
I'm kind of a hypocrite, Jeff. I haven't done my picks yet.
Oh, I got mine in already. I know, I love that. I sent those in the other day. Credit your sources, good journalist. Justin may have helped me out with that one a little bit. He was warning us all that we all needed to get them in. I was texting back and forth with him, and then he was like, "Why don't you throw them in now? You might be a little surprised." And then, boom.
Yeah. I still have some time. Okay, I still have some time, but
you sure do. The rest of you do too.
I need to get my picks in. Of course, action resumes the day that we drop this podcast, the 4th at noon.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to be in before we drop the puck.
That is correct, sir.
Again, I'm gonna get my picks in. I need to do a little bit more research, and we'll go over some names now. You want to actually let's give out your picks now, Jeff.
Yeah.
And then we'll go over, why you chose those and who I could potentially be looking at.
That sounds good. I know 2 out of my 3 are on the same team. And here is when I call in, hey, how are you, my boy Letty Caglione in the New York Apple Corps? Because come on down, Peter Unger, a guy that really impressed me at the Newington Showcase. He's up to 29 points in 27 games now. Unger has 4 power play goals. So we're looking for bonus points there. Unger also was another guy that not too happy about the Christmas break because he had a 4-game goal streak and a 6-game point streak. Holy heck. 5 goals. And then he had 7 assists in those games. So 5 goals, 7 assists in the last 6 games for Unger. He's got a few multi-goal efforts in there. And then I thought, you know what? Why don't I just stay with the New York Apple Corps? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ryan Croshaw, kid's undefeated. He looks like a man that is possessed as a New York Apple Corps goaltender right now. 6-0, 131 goals against, 961 save percentage, already up to 174 saves on 181 shots. Another key for all you listeners at home looking for good goaltenders. We talked about Cam Reardon all year long as far as how many saves he has and how those will help you get your fantasy points. So, and then my fantasy defenseman, Andrew Van Antwerp. I've been wanting to pick this kid for months, and for some reason my brain has just gotten scrambled when I've been going to do my D picks. But another guy that you've seen countless numbers of times on the top plays, and we just released our top plays for the month of December, so go check those out. But Van Antwerp is a kid that is just absolutely disgusting. He's got 22 points, 26 games, 7 goals, 15 assists for a defenseman, 4 power play goals. Kind of one of those guys that does it all. And usually when he scores and gets points, he gets them in bunches. He usually gets a lot of multi-point games when he does get points. So those are my picks, bud. If you want to follow in your footsteps, I got to try to join that EHL round of champions. So
right.
See if I can get there.
I got a few names I've circled. I could go chalky and go with like a Jack Wyman, who's just been so steady for the Railers all season long. I didn't realize how high up on the point chart Peter Unger was, Jeff.
Mhm.
17th in the league.
Mhm.
Cooper Smith had a huge month of December for the Rough Riders. So maybe Zach Rollo, 06. You look at the top scorers chart, there's so many 03s there. He's fifth in the league as an 06, our forward of the month from this past month. Flipping over to D. Speaking of those Chiefs, Eric Hudak has 23 assists. I first got to see him a lot at the South Central games where he was great against Stevenson, Lebanon Valley. Tristan Boyer also had a big December. He was challenging Constable for that defenseman of the year. So I got to think if I want to go with the trendy picks, you know what I'm saying? Or go kind of
sexy, as I like to say. And I always get me fun when I use that adjective.
See, of course, I'm trying to be humble here, Jeff. I do have my ticket, right? So
you do, bud. You do. So you can kind of put this in neutral and just coast if you want.
A little bit. And then
you can always do premier guys too, Neil. I mean, Anthony talked about Jim Fitzgerald last week with the Adirondack Junior Thunder. We got Brock Burrell with the PA Huntsman. What up, best friend Zach Overholzer?
Yeah.
So we got, you get all sorts of guys to pick from. Drew Cody, another one with the Express. Just got a follow from him on his Instagram recently. So thanks for the follow there, Drew. Gave you one back. But yeah, no shortage of people for everyone to pick.
Speaking of those Express, some late stat changes came through yesterday. Added 3 more assists in December for Charlie DiMartino. So him and Peyton Myers both put up 42 fantasy points in December.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Two players combined, 42 points in one month.
You can only pick one forward, though, and they're both forwards. So there's no way to kind of finagle that through the system. But 42 points is a lot of points, to say.
Right.
That could lead you to a victory.
Charlie's got 51 on the season in 24 games. He's still averaging over 2 points a game right now. Holy heck.
That is a frantic pace. But yeah, I'll get my picks in on time. And the rest of the E crew better get their picks in time too.
Yeah,
That's all I have
seriously.
To say.
You're all on watch. You're all on notice. Get them in. Dad's gonna beat you up.
Oh man! But that'll do it for the fantasy challenge. Let's now jump to what to watch for.
And now here's what to watch for in the EHL and the EHLP.
What to watch for is presented by Flow Hockey, the official streaming platform for your EHL and EHLP action throughout the 2023-2024 season.
And of course, what to watch for is our return to action. Does it feel like these breaks feel longer than they actually are?
Yeah, they do. I mean, we've been off since when? 21st, I think, was our last game.
21st to 22nd, right? It all blends together, to be honest. But
today's the 3rd.
It's only been 2 weeks. It's only been 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
But it kind of feels like 3 weeks to a month in a way, right?
Yeah. With the holidays, though, that's what the kind of funky thing is, right? You get Christmas, you get New Year's. A lot of places are closed. A lot of offices aren't open. So kids are just getting back to school this week. Kids that aren't playing junior hockey, of course. But yeah, no, it does feel kind of long, but honestly, I'm kind of excited to get back to work and get busy in the grind again. That's where me and you do our best work, right?
Yeah, not on the ski mountain, though. I was going to say this too, Jeff.
How are the pizza and french fry? I know you said you were sore as heck, but how was the pizza french fry method?
What to watch for is I have feeling back in my legs, right?
There we go.
But I only skied one day too, but it was tough conditions.
Was it?
And see, the issue was Sunday River got crushed with a rainstorm a few weeks ago. I'm not sure if you saw, right?
I did.
All of their snow melted. Mm-hmm. So they had to and it wasn't like it wasn't like it's been cold enough where they could make snow and get caught back up. Because we've been kind of stuck in this mid 30s to 40s. Yeah. So they only had 24 trails open when I skied on Saturday. So
that as opposed to how many do they usually have?
144.
Holy, okay. Yeah, I was 24 sounds like a good amount.
So now picture an a crowd that wants to be on 144 trails in 24, right? And
it looks like 93 South, the expressway, from the hours of 4 to 8 p.m.
What was happening was good skiers that want to be on like black diamonds are now on like blues and greens. And good skiers can do the nice tight turn where the skis are right next to each other and go down the mountain that way. But like they were all following the same path. So like there was this one blue trail. Here's my soapbox, Jeff, where all the good skiers were like cutting so well that they were like creating like those, like they're called moguls, like little bumps that are on black diamonds. So here I am, first time skiing in God knows how long, trying to go down these moguls. I only fell 4 times, right?
Wow, only 4? Damn, good for you,
But
bud.
it's like the annoying part is like when you fall and then you lose a ski and the ski starts going, it's like, God, stop.
You gotta chase it.
So
that's so funny. You guys were at Sunday River. Me and my wife just went and saw my mother-in-law up there. We actually took a day trip to we went to, I think it was the Camp was the restaurant at Sunday River. It's like inside their hotel.
When did you go there?
We went there like right before you guys were there, probably the week before. We were there for like 3. No, we were not up there at the same time as you.
Okay.
Because you had texted me you were going skiing the next weekend while I was still up there. But
yes, we ate at camp on Saturday night. So
nice place, right? Good
great
food.
Place.
Really
great
good
place.
Food. Sunday River, nice spot.
Yeah, this is not a paid ad, but if anyone wants to go
not
there,
a paid ad.
you could go.
No. But both of our families have enjoyed it, so
yes,
take your talents up there.
What you don't realize about skiing for the first time in 15 years is you start using these muscles that you're like, oh, what is that? Why do I feel pain on like the outsides of my knees? Like, okay.
100%. The first time I went in high school, same thing. My hips have never been so sore. I can't imagine what childbirth is like. I would never even try to attempt, but my hips were just like,
we are going down a different path right now.
Off the rails. Here we go. We had a red trainer on today, so now here we go. Off the rails.
First half of this episode was a great 200th episode. The second half, we're talking about everything else, right? But hey, I got my
still break, you know.
I got my sticker, so we're good.
Love it. Look at that. Love it.
But obviously,
BioSteel.
Yeah, plain water right now. A lot of water since last week.
Yep.
But as we mentioned, action resuming on the day that we dropped this podcast, January 4th. Most teams, I would say, play in this first weekend back, but there are some that kind of ease their way back in. Some matchups that we are keeping an eye on. First for me at the EHL level, both teams are actually going to Vermont this weekend for the Valley Junior Warriors, but I'm highlighting the EHL 2-game series between the Warriors and the Lumberjacks. That is a huge series in terms of playoff implications.
Yeah.
Lumberjacks have I've played 2 more games than Valley. So Valley has 2 games in hand, but they're only 1 point behind. So this is a chance for, we talk about this a lot in the podcast, you know, a sweep in one direction really could dictate a lot in terms of who could be in and who could be out.
Right. Yeah. As a reminder, folks, you're finishing last place in any of these divisions this year.
You ain't making it. You ain't making it. You ain't making it. Right.
Nope.
So, and then in terms of EHLP that I'm watching for, we kind of mentioned this club a lot, but now at the EHLP level, the Express, we always love to jokingly jab or talk about red train versus blue train, and that's what they have this weekend, a home and home series, Express and Railers.
Love it. Look at that. I mean, just looking at the schedule, Neil, honestly, we've talked about was it Jake that picked the Terriers to win the East?
I believe.
Did. Okay.
Big dogs guy. Big dogs guy.
Woof, woof. They start us off first. Well, guess what? They get the Express, speaking of big dogs in the East. They get a, no dog in the Express logo, but they're pretty doggish with their talents as far as their 19-5 record and 38 points. But, I mean, that's a big, like we were just talking about with swings, with the Warriors and Lumberjacks. You win that game, you're up to 31 points. If you win in regulation and don't yield any points to the Express, now you're within 7 points at third place, right? That's kind of
big deal.
That's 3 regulation wins and a overtime win. So yeah, I mean, I think that's huge. And then they have to play the Wizards on Friday. So welcome back from break. You get the Express and Wizards Thursday, Friday for Neil Mulcahy and Cody Gagnon and Gagnon rather, sorry.
Yes.
And then who else? We got Spartans Seahawks, Spartans Rhode Island. So they're back with a 2-pack on Friday and Saturday. Express play again on Saturday versus Providence. We see Providence be pretty hot here right before the break. Another team that I think really did not want to go on the break. So Yeah, totally. There's a lot of EHL matchups, and then EHLP, same difference. You got Wolves at Rondak Junior Thunder as they continue to battle out in the New England division. Wolves trying to get over the Avalanche for that second spot, as they're currently 1 point behind them in third place. So plenty of matchups in the Premier too. Express Railers, that's another, speaking of dogs, big dogs matchup Saturday. So yeah, so lots of it's crazy, right? Like you said, the break was kind of long, and I wonder if the players and coaches, it's that time of year, Neil, rest versus rust. You get more rest, you get more rust. How you gonna look? I don't know. We'll see. I think some of these teams beat the heck out of each other in the first half, so I think they definitely need some rest, but we'll see if there is any rust for these teams when they come back out.
If we weren't calling this podcast episode 200, we'd maybe call it Rest versus Rust.
We'll get it in. We'll get it in the second half.
But you know what's great about, we always talk about symmetry, Jeff, how 200 falls right now, into the new year, into the new season. Not totally planned, but it worked out great.
It did. It did.
So
you're dreaming. You're just smiling ear to ear right now. People can't see your face, but you're just like, that is Neil's version of yoga, everybody.
If it was January 1st too, it kind of would be even better.
Oh,
but I did love the fact that January 1st was a Monday. So like new week, new month, new year, like all on the same day.
Bam, check.
IOCD is on fire right now.
Yeah, so, right.
But thanks again to Jack Boschert for coming on, and keep up the good work for him as well. Like we said, he is the latest example of what our league does well and gets players ready for college and into situations where they can contribute right away. And he's contributing right away.
Yeah. And real quick, Neil, we joked about this, but in all seriousness, Jack Boschert, very, very well-spoken athlete. So for the rest of you EHLers right now, do your homework. Listen to this episode, number 200. It's easy. Find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Listen to how Jack answers questions. He is like a dream for us journalists as far as doesn't give you the 1 word, 2 word answer. Also is easy as far as being able to just elaborate and have a personality and stuff. So he's teaching you what to do on the ice, but also off the ice. So take notes, kids. Take notes.
Take notes. Exactly. So let's get back to action, though, huh? How about that?
Let's do it.
So if you can't make it to any of the games in person this week, you can watch them, as always, on Flow Hockey. And we'll be back next week to talk about what took place. Talk to you then, Jeff.
Sounds good. Can't wait, man. See you, pal.
Thanks for listening to the E Show, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Learn more about us at easternhockeyleague.org. Follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. Also, be sure to subscribe and get notified when our next podcast episode is released.